And we're back. Welcome back to the Auto Authorities Podcast. I am Jay. This is Gerald coming to you live. Oh boy, we have a good one for you today. We are going to be talking about leases. We are getting so many people contacting us asking, what should I do with my lease? Should I buy it? Should I just give it back to the dealer? Well, we're going to let you know all the answers to those questions now.
Have you ever felt like you were taken for a ride while buying, selling, or repairing your car? Well, not anymore. I'm Jay, and this is the podcast to tell you what to watch out for, whether you are buying, selling, or repairing your car. With over 26 years of automotive experience, we are the Auto Authorities. This podcast is sponsored by iAutoAgent.com. We're real estate agents for cars.
Booyah. Welcome back to the Auto Authorities Podcast. I am Jay. This is Gerald coming to you live. We are going to be talking about leases. There's lots of leases coming out of lease service from clients, and we are going to give you the best advice moving forward on what to do with your lease. But before we get going, I want to thank our sponsors, iAutoAgent.com. They have several different divisions. The first division is their fleet managers. They will help you buy fleets, they will help you maintain your fleet, and they will help you sell your fleet for maximum profit and handle all those tedious tasks, allowing you to run your business. We also have the real estate agent for car sell smart division and the vehicle finder division. So when you want to sell your vehicle at no cost, we'll sell it for you. Everything taken care of, so you don't have to meet strange people at strange places. We will find that vehicle for you, deal with the dealer, tee it up, handle every aspect of the buying process for you, where you just go in when you approve the deal. And then, of course, our third division is the warranty division. This is the extended warranty. This is the thing that you go to the dealer and they charge you a lot of money for. We shop multiple different companies to find you the best possible policy for you at a sometimes 40 to 50 cents on the dollar compared to what you can get at a dealer. And then, of course, we have Wrestling with Sales. Gerald, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, Wrestling with Sales is the talk show I do. We talk about all the work that you have to put in to be successful. And as opposed to most sales training podcasts where you talk to somebody and they end up just being a repeated monologue, talking to pro wrestlers about the work they put in to be successful, to break through. And you can see those parallels coming in. This week, we talked with Cody James from the NWA. He's part of Magic Inc. And we just took a look at the biggest picture of professional wrestling, the changing landscape going into the new year. And that was the first show on our new TV channel, Wrestling Spotlight, which is available on Local Now, on TCL Plus. It's on literally every smart television. You can find it on your TV right now. So definitely take a chance to go over there and pull it up. It's FREE on your TV. Wrestling Spotlight 24/7. We're getting some of the best independent wrestlers in the country on there.
Awesome. Speaking of on the TV, we have the Auto Authorities. You can view on TV. Tell everybody how to view the Auto Authorities on TV.
Same platform. Local Now, Shop Plus.
There it is.
Plus TV. Yep.
And we have all types of other different ways you can listen or view us. So to view us live Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central Time, we're on the Facebook group page, the Auto Authorities. We are on LinkedIn. We are on the Auto Authorities YouTube page. So before I forget, take out your phone and hit subscribe. Hit the button. Boop. And you can subscribe to the Auto Authorities right there on YouTube. Hit the notification button so you can be notified for every single one of our broadcasts. We've been doing this over 3 years. And as you have questions, leave your comments in the comment section. The other way that you can contact us is going to the AutoAuthorities.com. That's the AutoAuthorities.com. You can leave us a message, tell us about your situation, and I promise you that either Gerald or I will get back to you and answer your question. Let's get into this leasing stuff. This is a huge topic because, folks, all these 3-year leases are coming due now. And when those leases were initially, they officially took out these leases on these vehicles, they were very, very low payments, high residuals, which means low payments. And now these things are coming due. And here's what people are saying. Should I turn my vehicle in, or should I buy it and sell it with you at iautoagent.com? And we've got some good examples of what to do and what not to do, don't we?
Yeah, I'd say the main thing is it's going to depend a lot on what brand you have. But if you leased a Toyota, a Honda, a Subaru, just like we talked about last week, the inventory levels for those three brands are still extraordinarily tight. If you have a lease, you're probably sitting on somewhere between $5,000 to $10,000 of equity in your lease. A lot of people get leases and they don't realize that if the vehicle's worth more than the residual, than the guaranteed future value, you can keep it. If you turn it in, you threw that away. And there's lots of people that are just turning in leases and turning around and walking away going, wow, that was great. I didn't owe any money. No, but you may have had let's say a Toyota Corolla with 24,000 miles. Your residual was 15,000. Well, that car's got a trade-in value of 21. On a Corolla, you could have pocketed $6,000. So by all means, before you turn a lease in, at the very least, go to CarMax.com, punch it in there and see, or iAutoAgent, you can value it. Yeah. Punch it in and see what your value of the car is. Because if your trade-in value, your private party purchase value, your direct to a vendor sale is higher than your residual, that's yours. Don't give it up. Don't turn it in. You turn it in and walk away, you got nothing. Now, the converse of that is if you lease, which the good thing is there aren't many people who lease domestic cars. If you leased a F-150, a Ram, a Jeep Grand Cherokee, then yeah, you want to turn it in and run.
Good point. So let's dig in this a little further, and I'm going to share a story with everybody too. So we had a company vehicle. It was a Volkswagen Tiguan, and the residual on it was 12,500. Retail on it is 20,000. So the reason why, though, and this is a very, very big statement that I'm making right now, it's not even just the residual. It is about the dollar amount that you actually pay for that vehicle. Because when we bought that vehicle from the Volkswagen dealer as a company, we had over $5,000 in discounts, which that plays a huge part in the equity that we have right now because our payment was based on a much lower amount. So that residual that they figured in the very beginning is completely off, which is to our advantage. And I bet you it's going to be to your advantage too. And truly, you could contact iautoagent.com, send us a message, give us a call, whatever, because we'll give you the best advice on what to do. There's so much money just sitting there for you. But I agree with Gerald 100%. Some of the worst leases you can possibly do are typically, Ford and Chevy. They don't lease well.
No. And they don't lease often. I mean, you very rarely, I don't know, in 5 years of being a manager at domestic dealerships, I don't know, maybe I did 5 consumer leases. Hardly anyone ever does it because they're really only designed for businesses, for fleets, and an individual leasing any domestic outside of a Cadillac just doesn't happen.
Now, and the other thing to know too, and I want to ask you this, Gerald. So there are different types of manufacturers, and it really comes down to the leasing company that actually does the lease. But when somebody wants to get out of the vehicle, I remember Toyota, or it was either Toyota Financial or it was Central, it was US Bank, that we were able to actually sell. So like I remember we had a Toyota Tacoma and we sold it
Mm-hmm.
to another Toyota dealership without having to pay sales tax. But then we also had another situation where we sold a non-Toyota, I think it was a Jeep. I'm almost positive it was. And we didn't have to pay sales tax. Now this is St. Louis, Missouri, but some of them you have to pay sales tax, some of them you don't still, or do you have to pay sales tax on all of them? Do you know?
Well, in general, the only major manufacturer that lets you take one of their leases anywhere and doesn't make you bring it back to the originating dealer or brand is Toyota.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a Toyota lease, you can do whatever you want with it. You
Right.
can trade it in somewhere, you can sell it, you can do whatever. Most brands, it's required they go back to the originating brand. If you had a Honda lease, if you have a Volkswagen lease, Hyundai even, you have to go
Nissan.
back to that manufacturer. Yeah. And then outside third-party leases, which there's a lot less than there used to be. US Bank's really about the only big one anymore. US Bank is the most restrictive. The only way you can guarantee buy the car at the guaranteed future value, the residual, is if you buy it yourself. So then you have to pay the residual and register the car.
Yep.
Then you can do whatever you want with
Yeah.
it. So that makes it a little bit more restrictive. And if you take that US Bank lease and you go back to anyone else, you can trade it, but US Bank gets to dictate what the value is at that point, and it's not written down anymore. In the old days, they used to call those open-ended leases.
Well, here's
If
the
you
interesting.
remember, yeah, you remember the old Ford red carpet lease?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, there's still companies doing open-ended leases, and that's scary.
Well, I mean, US Bank's doing a hybrid of it.
Are they
It's a
really?
close-end lease if you buy the car. If you do anything else with it, it's an open-ended lease, and they adjust the residual value to current market value. There's not a universe where that's good for you as the consumer.
That
That's a bad deal, period. It just is.
that's a true statement. In fact, we had a client that had a Toyota Tundra that they wanted to sell through us, and the so they give you two values when you go in to turn in the lease. You have the residual, that's if you buy the vehicle personally.
Hmm.
But if you want to go through an independent dealer to sell it to them, well, they get the retail price and then they're not interested in it anymore.
Yeah, no, nobody's going to want it. I mean, it
No,
could be huge differences. It could be seven, $8,000, $10,000 more.
it was like $8,000 difference between what he could do. So, there's strategy behind this. So they contact iAuto Agent and we're like, yeah, you need to go buy the vehicle, register it, and then you can sell it anywhere you want.
Hmm.
But even after you pay sales tax, it was like, I don't know, $3,000 of sales tax. Okay, fine. You're coming out with $5,000 ahead. It's
Yeah, it's just jumping through some hoops, and
it is. It's a
it
lot, but for $5,000, I do it.
yeah, it definitely takes gives kind of a bad look to US Bank. So if you are going to lease a car, it's good to know what you're getting into. So there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with asking the dealer, "Hey, I lease this car. What happens at the end? What do I
Yeah.
have to do?" Because where it's going to start coming into play, people that leased Hyundais, leased Toyotas, well, Toyota you can go anywhere, but every other brand. Say you leased a Hyundai because, hey, I couldn't get the other cars. Well, you have to go back to Hyundai. You can't take that to a Toyota dealer and trade in your Hyundai lease
Nope.
because Hyundai will say, no, we won't give you a payoff. You have to take it to Hyundai.
Hmm.
And then your option is turning it in And if you think you have equity, well, that's gone. Or seeing if a local Hyundai dealer will buy it because they're the only ones who can buy it. Otherwise, it's just like what we were talking about with the US bank lease. You need to buy it, you need to register it, and then see what you can get on it as a trade-in. So it's definitely adding a couple layers to the process.
The only thing is, though, is if they buy it, though, they still have to register the vehicle, don't they?
Sure. Yeah, you
Yeah,
got to buy it and register it. Yeah.
and then pay sales tax. So it's just,
Hmm.
yeah, it would be silly to go like you open your options so much more when you have companies like iAutoAgent and some of the other ones out there, or just even just any dealership. Once you own that, it's just like you own the vehicle. So you could do just like if you don't have a lease right now and you own the vehicle, it's the same thing. And I think and I think here's another misnomer that a lot of people don't realize is that if you decide to buy that vehicle at the end, if you're over on your miles, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, it's meaningless.
Yeah, it's only if you plan on giving back that vehicle and turning it in at the end where mileage matters. And also damage on the vehicle, because there's somebody in my family named my daughter that decided to put $5,000 worth of damage on the side of her vehicle. And we're buying the vehicle. That's the other Tiguan that she had, and she bought it. Doesn't matter if there's damage. If she's okay with driving around with damage, and so she is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only the negative consequences only come if the vehicle is turned into the manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the dealership buys it, there's no penalties either. The dealership buys out the lease from the lender, so you're not paying the penalties either.
Correct.
So yeah, that's definitely a good thing to be aware of. To a degree, you're usually ahead of the game to go ahead and just do whatever the lowest mileage term is on the lease. That's going to get you the best payment,
Yep.
the best deal overall, and then you have another chance to look at it again at the end. The only exception I would make with that is if you know you're going to drive 48,000 miles and you think you may want to just turn it in and walk away, signing up for a 24,000 mile lease isn't a good plan because you're setting yourself up to fail.
You are. And here's the
You're
other
positioning where you can only buy it. That's your only choice, is to buy it out at the end.
right. And here's another misnomer. A lot of people don't realize that you can always buy that lease whenever you want as well. So if it's getting, a year away from you. So one of the things that we do when we do our vehicle finder program and we help our clients get into leases, we contact them like if it's a 3-year lease, we contact them 2 years in and 2.5 years in, and we come up with a strategy, because as the market is dropping, you might want to consider, if you're not quite done with your lease, to buy it now, get that money while you can. Because I'm telling you right now, and Gerald is telling you right now, if you have been watching our podcast, you better darn well get out of that vehicle if you know you're going to get out of it right now, because your price is going like this. Down. Any thoughts, extra thoughts there, Gerald, before we end?
Just one. If you're going to lease a vehicle and you want to lease something with the intention of turning it in and cashing it in at the end of the lease term, you want to lease a Toyota Tacoma.
That's a good
That is
call.
the single slowest depreciating vehicle on the road right now.
Are you-
And they have pretty aggressive leases. So the Toyota Tacoma, if you want to drive around in a little truck, they're changing body styles. That last year of the original body style, it's always a popular car. If you can find a 2023 Tacoma on a lot somewhere right now and you're looking to lease a small car, that's probably a good choice.
Good point. And for all those that you're listening, again, any questions you have, go to the Auto Authorities YouTube page. Click the subscribe, click the notified, and leave a comment below. Let us know your situation. We will respond to all your messages. Or you can go to theautoauthorities.com, send us a message. But Tell everybody about the YouTube page. We're kicking some butt out there, and there's a lot of people watching our YouTube broadcasts. So anyway, Gerald,
record views, record time.
Yeah, have a great rest of your week, everybody, and we will see you next week. Peace.